Downsizing is getting rid of responsibilities that you don't need to carry with you as you're getting older. My sort of downsizing was the clutter in the house. What helped me downsize was moving from Australia to Greece, and it gave me an opportunity to look at all the stuff I had and think to myself, do I really need all this stuff to carry it with me? What I did was cut all these ends that were keeping me working when I don't want to work anymore. Basically, the thing that woke me up was in the past 15 years, people that are my age haven't been making it. They've been dropping like flies, basically, from the age of about 50 onwards. I just hope by the time I reach 67, they haven't moved the age to 70. So downsizing is a must. It is definitely a must. Hi everyone, I'd like to talk to you today about downsizing at the age of 60 plus. I've been downsizing now for the past 15 years. I've downsized my life, and downsizing is getting rid of responsibilities that you don't need to carry with you as you're getting older. My sort of downsizing was the clutter in the house. What helped me downsize was moving from Australia to Greece, and it gave me an opportunity to look at all the stuff I had and think to myself, do I really need all this stuff to carry it with me? So that's when I started downsizing, and the financial crash had something to do with that as well. Because that's what brought me to wanting to leave Australia and move on into Europe. So the financial crash helped me move from Australia and downsize at the same time. And I've been downsizing ever since. When we got to Europe, we got to Greece, and we invested our money in our home and furnishing it and getting it ready. And that was 15 years ago. And from there on, we moved on to the UK, where I am right now. And from the UK, we've moved on to Holland and worked there as well. We basically, the last, 5 years, we've been living out of a suitcase. We've got our house in Greece, which we go and hang out there for about 2 months a year, and all our prized possessions over there. And we basically live out of a suitcase and just work, travel, and move around with my wife. Now, why do you downsize? Well, let me tell you something about downsizing. I've got a lot of acquaintances that all their lives, because of my age, I've watched these people and followed them through life, and all they tried to do was to get possessions. It was all about accumulating possessions and wealth, and possessions and wealth, and possessions and wealth. At this time, I don't have any possessions to take care of except my home in Greece and whatever I spend my money on here, because I live in rent here in the UK. It's absolutely impossible to buy a house. What I did was cut all these ends that were keeping me working when I don't want to work anymore, basically. This is not the age to stress out and chase the brass ring or try to make wealth at this age. This is the age where you contemplate your life, what you've done, what you know, what you understand. Hopefully by this stage, you've reached a point where you know who you are, and do you really need to be running around taking care of properties or taking care of investments? I don't think so. The thing that woke me up was in the past 15 years, people that are my age haven't been making it. They've been dropping like flies, basically, from the age of about 50 onwards. And I don't see any value in struggling anymore. We've raised our children. I've worked 50 years of my life at least, and I'm still working occasionally because I need to, because of the way society has worked itself out, till I reach 67 and retire like everybody else. I just hope by the time I reach 67, they haven't moved the age to 70. So downsizing is a must. It is definitely a must. Just get rid of these burdens. We don't have to set up our children anymore. We gave them the best of ourselves. Well, that's what I did with my wife. We gave the best of ourselves to our children, and now they're on their own path, on their own road in life, and we don't need to support them anymore. Hell, I'd like them to support me now. That would be nice. But you can always wish and hope. Get rid of all the luggage. You want to enjoy this part of your life. You want to change. You have to change. I have got no regrets for downsizing. It gives me freedom. I can move around. I could stop work whenever I want. I could start work whenever I want. At the moment, my wife is working, and because I am a polytechnic, and if you don't know what that is, that's a jack of all trades. I made it sort of like my rule in life to learn as many trades as I possibly can and understand them. And I'm still in construction. I just have my profession, but I know what everybody else is doing around the place and how they're doing it as well. Being in construction now for over 30 years, I know what my profession is, right? So on my spare time, when I was working, I'd go over to another tradesman and ask them questions and learn what they're doing. So at least I'm getting the theory and I'm watching them do the job. And that's all good to me because that all put money in my pocket in the long run. If I want to renovate something or build something or fix something, I've got myself to depend on. 15 years ago when we got to Greece, we had to renovate our house. There was no tradesman. We pulled down walls, we did the flooring, we did tiling, we did rendering, plastering, electrical work, plumbing. I didn't have to pay for one tradesman. I did it all myself with my wife and my children, and it took us about 3 months, and it cost us nothing but the materials and our effort and the satisfaction that I'm the one who did it and I know what it's all about. Oh, the only thing we did pay for were the kitchen cupboards. I would have made the kitchen cupboards as well, but I didn't have time. 3 months was my limit, and to build a set of kitchen cupboards was going to take a few more weeks, and I didn't have the time. I needed the children to get to school as soon as possible. We've come, we've moved to a new country for them, and they were supposed to get to school as soon as possible, and they did. Everything went well. So I keep a house in Greece, which is complete, and all these years I've been living on a temporary basis. I don't buy too much stuff. My clothing is ridiculous. I had a whole bunch of clothes, cupboards full of clothing, and now what fits in the suitcase? That's all I need. And that's how I run my life. The only time the suitcase changes is when it's summer. It gets summer clothing in there. And when it's winter, it gets winter clothing in there. That's all. And I love different places we go to and we spend time. I would have missed out on all that if I had assets that I had to take care of, or if I had some sort of a stable job that I'd been in for the last 30 years. No, I like this freedom. For me, this works. It works for my wife as well. It works for me. And we get to drive across Europe all the time. We don't take planes. We did at the start and found that pretty boring and annoying with all the things that go on at the airports. It's just bloody well annoying. So we decided we're going to stick to driving. Wherever we lay our hat, that's our home. And we work through agencies here in the UK now for the last 5 years. And in Holland as well, we've been working through agencies, getting jobs that way. And that's what I call the final step in my life. And what I'd like to do now is basically find my tribe, find people who were interested in some wisdom, some experience. I can only talk from my own experience. I'm not going to make anything up. As I said, I've got young people in my life that come to me for advice, for some wisdom. They just want to discuss it. It's up to you if you choose what I advise. But at least be aware of different options and different points of view of what's happening around you. I've lived my life. And I've gained a lot of experience, and I've had a lot of responsibilities, and I pulled them all through. I feel like a winner. Okay, so here's an opportunity for you all out there to learn from somebody who's happy and satisfied with his life. This is as far as I could go. This is as far as it's going to be, and I'm content. I'm sitting in this lovely park today. It's Tuesday, 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm not at work because I don't have to be at work at the moment. That's what I've created for myself. I take time off. Even last year, I took something like 5 months off, 6 months from work. And we earn enough so we could take time off. And that's what we do with our earnings. We just take it and live off it till it runs out and then go and make some more money. Just live off it till it runs out. We've got good professions. We're paid as tradesmen, both of us, my wife and I. So one salary a month is put aside, is not spent. Even with the high rents and the high costs here in the UK, we can make that work. Well, every month you put aside, we found out you could stop for a month and live off that month. So it's like 1 month on, 1 month off, 1 month on, 1 month off, if we wanted to. But we work constant for a few months and then we sit around for a few months. And that's called downsizing. We don't need to carry those responsibilities anymore. Either pass them on to your children if you have children, or get rid of them. I'm watching my friends get sick. They get sick. I don't need stress at the age of 62, and neither do you. And if you're giving yourself stress and issues, you're heading for an earlier grade. You're heading for illnesses that are going to pop up inside of you, and you're not even going to know why this is happening to you. I've seen it happen to a lot of people. They get sick, and then suddenly the doctor says to them, you've got 2 months to live, you've got 3 months to live, you've got a year to live. You don't want to hear that. And the only way to avoid that is to take all that pressure off you. Take it off if you want to live. Get rid of it if you possibly can. Downsize. Learn to live with less. We don't need so much. And I've realized that through the years. I've lived rich and well, but I didn't really need all that stuff. It was just tying me down and making me work harder and harder and harder. And at this point of my life, the most important thing is time. Time is run out now. And I've seen it in so many people watching their time run out. And I've heard their comments and their regrets. You don't want to die sad. At least die content. That's at least what I'm trying to do. I want to be content. And so far, I'm a happy little bird. I'm content. I am content. I can't ask for anything more. I played my part. I proved to myself and I proved to everybody around me that I was capable, and I shut their mouths and put them all in their place. So the game's over for me. Now I just want to enjoy the rest of my life with my wife like we've never done before as a couple without children or responsibilities of that kind. I intend to enjoy the rest of my life like a teenager, more like a young man, going out finding adventures and just going with the flow. All this that I see around me keeps changing, and I've got to keep changing as well. It's not going to be the same thing our parents had, and our children are not going to find the same thing their parents found, meaning me. So their future in 30 years or 40 years' time is going to be completely different. I just hope it's a good one. Am I talking too much? Should I stop talking now? I'm on a bit of a flow, aren't I?